Hello everyone and welcome back to the Faceit CSGO League season finale live at DreamHack Open Winter 2015. I'm your host Richard Lewis on the analysis desk. We've switched things up a little bit now. We have of course got Thorin back for the NA roast. Yes.
Great break there, guys. Like, what did I get, like 5 minutes or something?
Cheers, Liquid.
I saw the warm-up session. Did they not play the actual game?
Apparently not, mate. And obviously we've got Maniac who stayed over, and of course a very special guest, a man who knows a thing or two about being beasted. It is of course Fifth Lauren. How are you?
He didn't know who you were talking about there. He thought you were going to.
No, I wasn't sure.
Okay.
No.
Maniac.
Fair enough.
He was wondering which way you were going to go on that one.
So, did you watch that game?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, you all right? Didn't
no,
trigger you
really.
too much, did it? Good.
I mean, I've never been 16. Oh, no, I have. I was like, that was not, wait.
There we go.
To be fair, though.
Wasn't it 16-1?
No, I think, I don't know.
Yes, he was
He was
16-1.
playing,
16-1, I guess.
obviously.
16-1 it was.
In SWC, yeah.
He remembers.
You got one.
Yeah, I remember. I
one
remember.
round.
Haley is like Voldemort, the guy that should not be spoken about.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Come on, let's do it then, Duncan. Let's get it out of the way. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving weekend for the Americans, and Team Liquid played like a bunch of turkeys.
Yeah, basically. They got stuffed, roasted, and now everyone's feeling a bit lazy after just wrecking them, you know? Gonna take a break.
Yeah, I think they need to.
See if Grandma embarrasses herself by drinking again.
So, we have got a better game coming up, though.
Well,
we hope
it would
so.
be almost
Yeah.
unfeasible to not have a better game at this point, Rich.
Yeah.
And we've got two European teams playing, right?
Yeah,
Definitely then, yeah. They're quality. They don't embarrass themselves.
It's
on
going to
home
be
soil.
Virtus Pro versus TSM. Now, this is an interesting one because we've seen these teams go up against it not as often as some of the other top teams. You know, they seem to manage to dodge each other in tournaments, but when they have, it's been a little bit back and forth. The results haven't always gone one team's way, you know. So, how do you see this one going, given the current trends for both teams?
I mean, this is my favorite matchup in CSGO, actually. When these two teams, VP and TSM, are just like, that's who we're watching now, yeah? The women's match. I think these two match up the best out of all the top teams because the map pool's always been shared. I mean, you saw at PGL, the reason we had those, even though it was 2-0s both times for TSM, they were both playing maps they liked. And they were both like, oh, okay, let's play Overpass, let's play Train, let's play these maps that we both like. And so as a result, we're both really high level on it, and it really is just like, let's let the chips fall where they may, which is, that will usually be the kind of compost to set up a great series, is if it's both teams have a shared map pool and they're not afraid to play the other guy's mess map. If you have a series like we saw earlier on, where the Legacy guys and VP, you're both just banning out each other's strong maps, you're going to get to kind of a wishy-washy middle map there. So I think it's always primed with these two teams to see an incredible CSGO game.
I mean, for me, the way VP's been playing as of late, I don't really think that's going to be a good game at all. I am sure they had Misha instead of Snacks, arguably the best player in VP right now. And then this game as well, yeah, sure, Legacy, you know, the game was over, and then Legacy just started grinding back some rounds, but considering how, especially it's group stage as well, keep that in mind. I'm not taking anything away from TSM, you know, they have proven themselves.
Did they just win 16-0?
That's what I'm saying, you know, they look in a
really
way better
at the
shape.
moment, guys.
I never said that, though.
Wait a minute. Oh, I thought you were going the other way. I thought you were going to say VP. You're thinking TSM's going to wreck.
Yes. I think that VP will have quite a poor showing like they did at IEM versus TSM.
Well, what is interesting to me is that in that particular matchup, the team that's going to have the best start is not necessarily the team who's going to win the match. You could go 6-0 VP or 6-0 TSM. I mean, both of their teams are able to bounce back from it, so that's going to be a great fight. I think that, weirdly enough, TSM won 16-0 this match. You might say they are all fired up and stuff, but they are not ready to face like a real opponent, maybe like a real fight. Now they're going to go against VP. They're going to go against VP. That's going to be difficult, way more difficult. So are they really ready to fight? I'm not sure.
I like the subtle burns that you have there.
Yeah, it's good. He's
real opponents.
Yeah, see?
You can have a game on their hands. You know, Maniac, he's learning.
But here's the thing, right? So I've talked about this in the past. I don't know if you guys agree with this, but it's almost like a contrast to styles as well when these two guys play. I think Virtus Pro have some of the best T side, you know, apart from Envious, and I think TSM's CT side's right up there. You know, it's something that's definitely worthy of respect. So what happens again when the sort of irresistible force meets the immovable object? You know, it does seem it can go go either way at times.
Well, that's also why when they had this amazing matchup at PGL, that's what edged it over for the TSM guys. They were actually able to like out VP on the T side.
Yeah.
So if you can do that on maps like Train and Overpass, you deserve to win at that point in time. That's what's going to be so difficult to do. I think the one interesting factor, if you want to give like VP some edge in this matchup, is recently, because of what happened at Cluj against NIP on Train, where that was the sick map for TSM and they got wrecked on it.
Yep.
And then they banned Train in the final of IEM against Na'Vi, even though, again, TSM's supposed to be a fantastic Train team. We all know VP's supposed to be the best Train team. So I wonder if that's what will change here. At PGL, when TSM won, they were willing to play Train. They were like, great, this is great. But at the moment, they seem a bit scared on it. So if they're going to veer away from that, well, you have to remember, TSM has to ban Cobble against them. So suddenly, maybe VP can get a good end of the map pool.
Well, it's a best of one.
And here's
so.
the thing. No, but here's the other thing. VP always bans Dust 2. So they're not going to be playing the best map TSM. So I think actually the map pool might give VP a chance.
Yeah, I think I tried to do some prediction. I think it's going to end up either on Mirage or Overpass, in my perspective, and that's actually a pretty good map for both teams. So this is also why it's going to be a great match, because both teams are actually quite nice on the two maps.
I think there's a good chance to that, actually, because logically thinking through it, I think VP will ban Dust 2, Cash, and then there's a third one, maybe Inferno.
Maybe Inferno, yeah.
So then if you think of what the others will ban, I think there's a good chance we're going to end up on one of those.
We'll come back to the map veto in a second, but now we've got Parla on stage with Taz and Carrigan to talk about this upcoming match.
I'm here with Taz and Carrigan. All right, let's get a little recap on your journey so far today. Taz, you guys looked pretty comfortable against the Australians. However, they did manage to get a bit of leeway back into that match. Can you give me a little roundup of what happened?
I don't know, man. It went close. It wasn't confident.
Okay. I mean, but you did look like you were making some good plays as a team, you know, giving yourself a bit of credit there. Like, do you now going up against a team like TSM, what's the thought process?
Oh man, we are scared. They just won 16-0 against Liquid, who destroyed us. So I don't know, man. It really feels. I don't know, man. I'm shaking.
That was a snacksless VP, though. Am I correct? And now you've got snacks back. When you lost to Liquid.
I don't know, man. It just feels wrong.
All right, brother. Okay, don't worry. I'll leave you to it. Carrigan, what about you? Like, how are you feeling going up against the guys on VP?
We are scared. They're old, they're experienced, and we are the guys who, when we are favorites, we can't win. So now he said we are favorites, so now I'm scared.
Did you just say that they're old? Because I'm not sure Taz is a fan of being called old.
Well, he's a little older than me, and I feel old, so.
All right, well, you just had an amazing victory against the Liquid guys, 16-0. Can you give me a little rundown of that?
This is a completely different matchup than against NA. We feel confident in Overpass, and we didn't get to play Overpass versus Virtus.pro, so Mirage is always a fun map to play against Virtus.pro. We always had problems on it, so maybe did not this time.
All right, well, guys, we'll leave it at that. If you want to shake hands and head back to your booths. All right, guys, give a round of applause, and I think we're going to head back over to the analysts and the guys on the desk.
Yep, we certainly are, Parla. So you saw there, even Carrigan is getting in on the NA burns today. It was it's Virtus.pro's a very different matchup, not to Liquid, just to anyone in NA.
Yeah.
So, but it's
the only person today on TSM who was kind to NA was Cajun B. He tried to give him a best chance, you know. He was like the skadoodle of that mix, trying not to throw the game, you know. But even so, he couldn't do anything about it. So
you can
definitely
see
throwing that game.
Maniac is a prophet. He said that he felt it would go to Mirage. I actually did say when we were talking about, I don't mind, obviously I'll talk about the backstage stuff as well. I said to you, Maniac, if it goes to Mirage, I fancy Virtus.pro for this one.
Yeah,
and
actually,
it's happened.
Probably because of the fact that Virtus.pro is extremely strong at taking control of the middle as T on Mirage. So what they would do is that they would control the middle, the connector, and then the ladder room. And then as TTU, if you don't get the information, you do not know if they're going to end up with a split B or an A split. So it's extremely difficult. I think the main point for TSM would be to actually gain control over that middle and shut it down for Virtus.pro, and then force them to use like out-of-the-box tactics for like A or B. That's going to be the main point, I think.
This was the map where TSM became amazing on it earlier in the year when they kind of like rose up to being close to the best team, you know. They were having amazing T-sides, but this is classic VP, this map. They're so good on both halves. Obviously, we had that great 5th game at Dubai. It was the decider of the whole series, 16-14, between these two teams. I actually favor VP just on map alone here.
What's interesting is when TSM were dominating Mirage, it was actually Carrigan that was AWPing in that mid window a lot of the time. And then they seemed to switch the tactics up a little bit, obviously, you know, to keep things fresh, even though it was working. And since then, it's still a strong map for them, but it hasn't been as strong. I said out in Sevo, where I watched Virtus Pro just dismantle people on Mirage, they've still got this in the locker.
Yeah. For me, Mirage for TSM, before, as Thorin was saying, when it used to be their best map, it was a map where TSM did such a great job in actually make sure that every single player on that team performed. Like Carrigan is not supposed to be the map fragger. On Mirage, he always is. Yeah. Stipex does a great job on the Behold. It's actually a device for me and Dupree that's lacking a little bit on Mirage, especially on the seat side. They are the ones that need to set up in order for them to actually gain back control of being the best Mirage team.
Device was having a pretty good game on Overpass, though. He had like 28 kills.
We're talking about Mirage here.
But I mean, he's in good form at the moment.
Yeah. So then it's going to be fun to see, because like again, I think that Carrigan will always show up on this map. He always has. I don't think he's ever had a bad map on Mirage from what I've seen. Zipix always going to do his job over there, and then I think it comes down to Device and Dupree. If they show up, I think TSM's going to have this one.
All right, well, we'll find out. We're going to take a look at Virtus Pro, the team they've got to beat. Now, since this Duncan did these last time, Maniac, why don't you tell us about these players from left to right?
Well, first, Pasha. He's kind of a, strange player to really predict, because from time to time he just goes huge, having like plus 30 kills on some maps, and then he kind of disappears. You might see him doing kind of weird stuff you don't really understand.
I don't think he knows what he's going to do.
Going huge, 30 kills, disappearing.
30 kills, I had 30 kills.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that from you.
Every now and then, Cash back in the day.
Yeah, that might happen.
Kenny S died.
Then you have Bayali. Pure brute force, mainly ST. Open fraggers, extremely powerful. Then Neo. For me, Neo is actually doing a lot of work in the shadow right now in Virtus Pro. I think he kind of creates situation for Pasha and Bayali to actually like putting the frags. So important job from Neo. Then Taz, kind of the same. I often see him as T. Not really doing the entry fraggers, but creating a situation, creating thescore, like smoking, having like those right-click flash, creating situation. And Snacks, for me, Snacks is actually the universal player. Quite simply, he can snipe, he can open kill. He's probably one of the best clutcher ever in the game right now. So
he knows all the trick smokes as well.
Yeah, actually, the guy is like he's complete.
Yeah.
Maybe he can get better. Obviously, you can always get better, but at the moment, he is complete as a player.
And Taz there, you saw we had an empty chair for him. He's so old now. He
I agree.
Spent time in the hyperbolic
Snacks is
chamber.
a very well-rounded player.
I see what you did.
Oh, as if you went for the cheap one.
It's also my analysis.
You're better than that.
He is a very well-rounded player.
You're better than that. So, I mean, of course, on Mirage as well, one of their strongest maps, known for just being able to, body people on it. And I know, like I say, I still think they're one of the best Mirage teams, of all time. They seem to have an understanding of that map in particular that other teams don't.
Oh, certainly. I mean, it's one that it's never really left them. Like, all that happened was there was a period of time where they were going crazy on the train, the Cobalt overpass. So they were just specializing there. But you notice other teams often would always veto Mirage away from VP. Even still, it was always like a respect ban, even after the era when it wasn't their #1 map. So no one really wants to play them on it. It's just arrived at this that was the way it was going to go in terms of what TSM had to remove.
So fifth, even though we're all waxing lyrical about Shocks, Snacks, sorry, I should say.
Shocks there? Okay.
Sorry, I don't want to trigger you. I don't want to trigger you. I've got to get you to pick a player to watch for this game for Virtus Pro.
I would say Snacks. Look at how VP played when Snacks was not around at IM. You have to pick Snacks.
So there we go. All Shocks, as I did.
Either way.
Whichever one. He might be playing a little bit later. But no, he's in great form right now, and they definitely missed him out in San Jose. It was quite clear. Anyway, Duncan, your first time introducing TSM. Tell us about these players.
Okay, so on the left, we got the best player in the team, Device. You saw him just sparkling performance earlier against Team Liquid, who admittedly didn't put up much of a fight. He's someone in IM San Jose. Felt like he was one of the ones who was a bit off at times, actually. He wasn't really at his peak form we'd seen coming into the major. Is a very well-rounded player himself, can do everything, can snipe, can rifle, pistol, play aggressively, take a standard CT spot. Then we got Dupree next to him. I feel like Dupree, when TSM was at their best, when they won that PGL, he was like the secondary guy who was standing up with the MVP performances. Really good entry fragger, quite a confident player. In the middle, we've got Carrigan, who obviously is the in-game leader who really turned this team around. When he took over, all these other 4 players had been in the team, but he transformed the identity, and suddenly that Dignitas team that was just CT only was winning T-Harbs. It became very good, and so he can obviously also secondary AWP whenever he wants to. Zipnik's second from the right here. He's the guy where he was on the chopping block earlier in the year. They actually were going to. It was a done deal. They were going to replace him with AZ, but they couldn't get the whole contract issue to work out, so they couldn't. But when word got to Zipnix, like, you're going to be replaced, you saw his form went way up. He became a lot better, actually. Really sparked and becoming the best now. And interesting on the right here, Cajun B. He's someone where he will have like 30 frag games. He'll have games, especially on Dust 2, where he just takes over the whole game. But you saw in the game they won 16-0, he actually had a pretty bad game. He was doing almost nothing, contribute. So he can be very hot and cold. He's so good when he's hot, but if he's off, luckily for the team, they've got such skill, you know, like parity across the lineup that he doesn't have to turn up all the time. But if he does, it's going to put you over the top.
It's typified his whole career, actually, that has that sort of level of inconsistency. It was the same back in Source, you know, it was like when he was on form, wrecked people, but his form days actually didn't come around quite as often as you felt they could for someone of his talent. With that said, Maniac, I'll ask you now to pick a player we should be watching from TSM.
Just from the first game, I have to go with Device, because obviously he had a crazy game. He's probably warmed up, hyped as hell because how good he played. And even if I don't think about this first game, this guy has been, in the past month, extremely good. Also very versatile, able to go with a rifle or with AVP, as good as CT or as T. So I'm going to go with Device.
Fifth, anything to add to that?
No.
No? You're not going
That's
to
what
pick
they're paying
else?
for, that
Yeah,
quality
yeah.
analysis.
Yeah,
Like,
brilliant.
okay.
That's right.
I get paid by every sentence I say.
So, well,
You get paid less then?
Yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough.
fair enough.
Exactly.
He doesn't need the money
there.
Doesn't need the
I
money.
also get paid by every sentence I say. That's why I never
I thought
any
you
of
were
you
going
guys
to say
talk
getting paid.
all the
I thought
time.
you were going to say by word. That's why you talk so much.
okay.
Yeah, that is.
That was the joke, really, but okay. Thanks for explaining it.
That famous Swedish
I don't know,
humour
bloody hell, yeah.
coming in. So I'll stay with you,
Wicked
though.
sense of humour.
I'll
So subtle.
I'll stay with you, Fifth.
I'll stay with you,
said,
Fifth. I'll stay with you, mate.
Someone did. Right,
Stay
you
with me,
said
Fifth.
you think TSM will
I'll
nick
never
this
let go,
one.
Fifth. He sinks below the
Sorry?
water.
You said that you think TSM will nick this one.
Yeah.
So tell me why. He's doing it again. I can't take him serious.
Bad.
Tell me why.
I knew it was going to be a counter question.
He's
I told you
contributing
why.
less than he used to in NIP. We're just rocking it on the desk. He's over there just picking up wins. No. Okay.
I'm jet lagged. I'm an A now.
Hang on a minute, though. So he's got the same excuse.
You know, he actually beat Fiflaren in Fiflaren's last ever competitive game on LAN.
Yeah, but I mean,
Wrecked him.
Yeah.
Really?
Damn near killed him.
To be fair, though, he didn't interfere with Kaylee. What is this?
Okay.
We are not talking about
I'm
that
done
now.
with this.
They did have a
We
cheat on
flipped
it. Well, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
Okay, the reason why is
All right,
because I
here we
think that TSM is in a much better place right now than VP. VP was good like 2 months ago. They were on a roll. You know, they were actually. It felt like they were old VP like back in 1 year ago. Now, not so much anymore. I think that teams got a more of a feel again how VP likes to play. Whereas for TSM, they will always have these high placements, semi-final, final. Especially in group stage, man. This has never disappeared from TSM. They are probably one of the better group stage teams that we have.
So give me a rough score.
16-9.
Okay.
TSM.
That's a big one, Maniac.
That is.
30 seconds on you. And
Actually, I will go with Virtus Pro.
Yep.
Even though TSM is showing a good performance right now, I think on one hand, Virtus Pro got probably very angry about how they got kicked by Liquid in NA.
Yep.
And I know those guys, they have big egos. Not that it's something negative. It is
No,
not.
in
They
a
are
good way.
champions. They are
Yep.
champions. Of course, they got a big ego. And what would happen to Virtus Pro usually is that they will have a down result, like a bad result in a tournament, and then they would crush everyone when nobody really expect them.
Yep.
So now that they got Snacks back, confidence is back, and they want to prove everyone that IEM result was just nothing to be talked about. I'm going to go with Virtus Pro.
Okay. Rough score?
Probably 16-12.
Yep. Duncan, 30
I'm going to
seconds?
take Virtus Pro to win this
Yeah.
one, actually. I think, like, VP, they've gone back to their old ways where they're either super good or super off, you know, and you can never quite tell. TSM's a bit more consistent, but I feel like TSM hasn't quite got that fifth gear at the moment. So I'm going to take VP because of the map. I think
Exactly.
Mirage is the one that favors them.
That's what I think as well, guys. I think they're just untouchable on Mirage right now. Anyway, thanks for all of your thoughts, especially the ones given by the word. We're going to go over to our casters right now. It is James Barloff and DDK to bring you TSM versus Virtus Pro. Take it away, boys.
So the third match of the day's proceedings is due to start soon. Just the final warm-up coming in from the two teams. Again, Mirage is going to be the map of choice between these two teams. Again, two strong teams on Mirage. Do you have a preference there?
Well, I was talking to Vendetta about this. We were bouncing thoughts back and forwards, and I really agreed with his standpoint. He's actually favoring TSM, and the logic was, I think it was discussed actually on the desk a little bit as well. the heavy kind of mid-take strength from Virtus Pro is something to be feared. And when teams try to play that game against them, where they try to resist essentially, unless they have an AWPer that's going absolutely nuts, generally you're playing into VP's hands. I feel like TSM are a team that are very, very good actually playing passively, which is a sentiment that Vendetta was talking about. And so I think we're going to have a close game, but I feel like this is a really good matchup for Mirage. But yeah, I'm gonna say TSM, I think. How about you?
I'm not going to pick that because I know it's going to drive you crazy, so I'm not going to. But bear in mind, guys, this is the Faceit finals here, and make sure you hit up Faceit.com. Obviously, you can play 128 tick pugs for free on there, as you can see. So make sure you head on there. Maybe you'll see me on there. I'm definitely always in those premium queues. Although you can play for absolutely for free as well. There are thousands of games going on at the same time, so make sure you're into that later on. But for now, we have match time, TSM versus Virtus Pro. I think Virtus Pro, generally speaking, are one of my favorite teams. So but I'm not picking any winners for this one because I think it could go either way. It's the best of one. And they're both very strong on the map.
I want to see Karrigan actually going nuts for the AWP. I think that was also mentioned. This is a map where he can often just go crazy. It reminds me a little bit of his shenanigans on the T side of Dust 2. Sometimes, you know, he's going to be in this position on certain maps and certain roles where he's got the AWP and he's just there to do big damage. And Mirage is one of those maps on the CT side. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. I think we can expect on that CT side that, you know, despite Virtus Pro being very mid-heavy, we might see him delve in there. And, well, it's going to be the pistol between the two teams to kick things off here. And already we can see Neo marching up mid to get some early information for his team.
Indeed, you can see the bomb is in B apps at present. But there are 3 TSM players over towards A, which could suggest that going through towards the underpass. Again, Neo continuing the push here, but with a player making his way from T-spawn to B, this might give the game away, but the B bombs that's been abandoned, actually, and the rotation is coming in, maybe with the read on Dupree making his way over towards B, and the bomb is going to be planted now, so it's going to be Virtus Pro with a 5-man retake attempt here.
Yeah, not too bad on the numbers. We'll see if they can make the frags happen as well. Bialy's going to start testing the waters here. And the waters are very murky indeed. We've got Device straight in there, retaking control of the shop area. And this is not a good look right now for VP. They're just down to Snacks, one man with a dream. Can he do it? He's already got one frag there onto Dupree, but that bomb is starting to tick very quickly. He doesn't have a kit on him at the moment, as these two TSM players just play hide and seek, and Snacks cannot find them in time. They're playing this one perfectly. There is nothing that Snacks can do. He's just going to edge back, save his Kevlar potentially, or get some frags. And that's going to be the round for TSM. Well-handled pistol from the Danish side.
In stage 1, finals this year, I think the top 3 fraggers were all TSM players, including Karrigan, who was very dominant on Mirage, as you mentioned before, on the CT side. Good start for TSM on the T side, however. The CT side is to come much later on. So we'll see where Karrigan is going with that smoke. Here's a jumping smoke. That from the angle where he threw that, you often find the smokes coming up to short, as indeed you can see one there now. So that allows you to go for an aggressive short play, but also get behind the boxes without being seen. So you can see Neo playing the jumping scout. We've seen him do absolutely insane shots. And there's another example. Device going down, shot straight in the face there. That's exactly the same thing that we saw Neo do on the previous occasion, but now TSM are going to speed up and try and take control of this with a lurker towards mid.
Yeah, they really need to play damage control right now, not let Neo get anything else. He's going to get a nice tag though. So a lot of damage being done, but Karrigan is, of course, cleaning up the rotation that was happening through middle. So this is an effort now for Virtus Pro, where they're going to get it done through the shop area mostly at the moment, although we'll see Karrigan go down in mid in the end. Snacks now creeping in with the Deagle, seeing what he can get done here. He will spot Dupree. Good damage done, but not the finish. And that's just going to leave Neo by the shop, just harassing, being a bit of a nuisance, but there's not much for him to really do at this point. But to be fair, they did manage to get a couple of kills, so that's not too bad. And it looks like Bialy's going to be able to save a Galil also, so not too shabby. They could definitely do some more damage in the following round as well. So this has actually turned out quite okay for Virtus Pro, all things considered.
Neo is dangerously consistent at jumping sideways at the edge of the balcony and shooting people in the face with a scout, like dangerously consistent. And again, he saved it now, so he can go for the same aggression on this round. I think we might see a replay of that, and there we go, just the snap through the corner of the wall, no less. Very accurate indeed. So we'll see if he chooses to go for a similar play. We can see TSM are going for similar smokes in mid, but this time the approach is towards A as opposed to B.
Yeah, it could be a very, very fast affair here. We've got Snacks already going to be spotting most of the push, so that's going to start to cue things in here now for TSM as they speed it up and they take down Taz as well. So it looks like it's a very, very fast round here. Not much damage done just yet. Only Pasha left at this point. We've got Karrigan marching in, and he's going to be able to use that SMG. to perfection, and that will be the finishing frag of the round. And things looking quite standard here, quite good for TSM. Virtus Pro, they managed to get some damage in. They managed to save some money on a couple of players previously. So far, it's a pretty textbook opening, I would say.
Yeah, that was a very fast third round. So we're into the bye for both teams now. We can see an AWP coming out for dupreeh. No AWP on the Virtus Pro side yet after the force fire, of course. So just the M4 to them. Got a reasonable amount of grenades. We'll see how well they can use them. 4 smoke grenades, most importantly. The odd Molotov here and there. And the single defuse kit onto Neo. Good start by Ali, coming down in short, taking down dupreeh with no answer from the T's.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to work your way in after losing a man. They need to start taking some map control. And where they do that is, well, usually a team would try to take something towards middle. And they were trying to poke and prod, but Device is going to go down in that effort. And this is kind of the problem. If you try to re-engage for a pick play to get yourself back into the round, and then you lose that one situation where you're maybe not favored, as we saw Device do there. You're in a 3 versus 5 now. How do you save this situation?
Yeah, so Karrigan's moving slowly, trying to get an entry, but Virtus Pro starting to set up for a trade there. You can see the bait coming in now. Karrigan jumping through the window, but Bali will finish him off. Pasha getting a bit of an assist there. 2 players left for TSM, and that's not going to cause a rotation, which is maybe what Karrigan was going for. Bomb towards A slope has been spotted now. Neo taking down KGB. Zipex not left with much health, so the damage here should be minimal. 19 HP, going for a bit of pre-fire here. 30 seconds left for him to try and cause some more shenanigans. Very unfortunate timing for him there, as that surely would have been a headshot onto Snacks, but there we go. Virtus Pro survives the first test with 4 players as well.
Absolutely, and I mean, hey, you know, TSM, they lose the first round. That's okay. I mean, they aren't on the best equipment ever. They're going to be on some Tech 9s and a couple of AKs. They have a lot of grenades though, so we should see, we will likely see a fast execute from them. Just throwing out the mid smokes to just obscure things a little bit. So likely a bit of a delay before going for that execute. But that's how they're going to have to get this done. They need the strength of numbers to break at the A bomb site and get the bomb planted at the very least. And with Taz in that position by Shadow, he's going to be a key component in the defense here. And he's going to go down straight away. So this will open up the bomb site. The bomb should be able to be planted at this point, and Karrigan's going to lose connector. But the bomb still hasn't made its way down.
Indeed, they've lost the connector choke point. They've got the smokes coming out towards the jungle area. So that will affect where they plant the bomb. They can go to plant it behind double stack. I think that might be where they've done it. Actually, we'll see. I think it's default. In fact, indeed it is default, which makes it a bit harder to defend, especially when they've got a man disadvantage now. Virtus Pro continuing to enroach the site there. Snack's going to try and push around the fire, but KGB's taken down. 2 versus 2 now. Again, Pasha's still with the AWP now, but he's the only one left as Neo gets taken down in CT. Pasha pushing with the CZ now, down to 1 versus 1. Out of bullets, Device to finish things off. Pick up the AWP as well.
Yeah, that was a very rough situation now because Virtus Pro are going to get reset on the economy, so their money is going to be pretty poor. Generally speaking, it could be a lot worse. I mean, they do have 4K on a couple players, so it's not too horrendous. But an eco, of course, is in store, so TSM can gain or regain economic control and momentum in the match, and really give themselves some breathing room to work with. And they know that Virtus Pro should be on a pretty poor buy, so let's have a look at TSM's anti-eco so far, just clearing out middle, making sure they have all the major parts of the map control before deciding to commit to a bomb site.
Yeah, I like that they threw a flash down from B-Apps as well, but it was peaked from the mid area. Nice little touch there by TSM. It's a very meticulous play. But they need to identify where the stack is of Virtus Pro, and maybe they're starting to do that. Snake's getting taken down by Device. dupreeh punishing Taz for pushing through the smoke there. Device taking a bit of damage, gets the Molotov down, but it's not going to be enough to stop Pasha. He will pick up the AK for now, but he's only got 7 HP. And you can see TSM moving towards the B bomb site now as dupreeh continues to control the rotation from A.
Pasha wants to work his way out with the AK. Almost actually got a frag as well, but TSM's dupreeh will eliminate him, and Neo's going to go back for that weapon. And perhaps predictably so, but dupreeh had to try to back away. He was so weak himself, and that's the AK claimed by Neo. Now, Virtus Pro don't know if they should have any high expectations in Neo's ability to hold on to this AK, because the hunt is on. Zipex will go in for the spray, and he will find the frag as well. So no AK saved, and Taz is back in the match. So it's going to be a hard recovery for Virtus Pro. 5 rounds already for TSM, 1 for them. They are going to get another buy-in, but they'll be spending all of the money. And if they lose this one, I mean, they don't even have a big bonus yet for the consecutive round loss. If they lose this one, that's only going to be $2,400. So this is a really important one for Virtus Pro to secure.
Oh, look at that short smoke immediately, and Karrigan taking down Neo in CPR is going to be a great start. He should have spotted a second CT there, but they pretty much abandoned mid for the time being, and TSM taking varying approaches to mid. With support in smokes, so we've had Karrigan pushing up mid with an AK on his own. Now he's going to get the first pick with the AWP. Again, short's been smoked off, and it's going to change things up and make it hard for the CTs to defend here. They're down a man now. Snack's evening things up over towards the A site. Only for a second, Zipnik's there to trade. Taking down Bali as well is Zipex rather than Zipnix. So Pasha now finds himself alone in a 1 versus 3. Is making his way over towards the T spawn area. Now, in that position, Karrigan might be able to hear him running, which could give the game away, although it doesn't seem like he did on this occasion. So Pasha will have the element of surprise coming in. Only one player on the site, as you can see Dupree in the corner there. Not sure if he spotted Pasha just yet. Going for the jump, getting punished now. And Pasha has a second to get himself a 1 versus 1, as Karrigan's very out of position, but Pasha, maybe not realizing it, is going for the save.
Yeah, it's so impossible to know where Karrigan actually is, and it might end up being very painful indeed, because Karrigan, of course, is waiting for this. He knows it's so incredibly likely Pasha's going to walk straight into his crosshairs. He won't hit the shot, though. That could end up helping Virtus.pro quite a bit, considering that he'll be able to save that AK. And for Virtus.pro's sake, you know, they're really hoping to keep the pressure on TSM's economy. And TSM, you know, they have been losing quite a few players, so their money's not really growing out of control. In fact, quite the opposite. It's only Karrigan that really has any money, and Zipix as well. But the rest of the team are quite poor. So Virtus.pro, despite being quite a few rounds behind, could definitely swing this back in their favor if they're able to be successful on their next buy round.
On the subject of economy, we can see Device in a good position to make $600 per kill with this MP7. There's the first one. Can't make it 12 though, getting traded immediately by Snacks, and now it is Virtus.pro with an opportunity to make a bit of cash here with that MP7. Pasha coming in with the M4 towards B, trying to do what he can. Not getting the spray down on the AWP. KGB going to save his teammate. Karrigan left with 5 HP now. Zipex just holding down the choke point, killing off the rotation, quite literally here from Virtus.pro. Taz, though, is still in control of that MP7, so if he can get some exit frags, then maybe that can make a difference on Virtus.pro's next buy.
Yeah, absolutely, it would be a very, very important indeed to get the ball rolling, because they are lacking a lot of grenades. They've not really had a perfect buy just yet, and I'm curious to see whether they'll be able to stop TSM's kind of picking-based approach, or if TSM will even just potentially go with a shock and awe play. We might see that as well, but it's like the final hunt will commence, and we'll see Bjarni and Taz falling to the Danish superstars of TSM. Now 7-1 is the score, but then this would be a really good time for Virtus.pro to start putting some rounds back into this one if they want to have a chance going into that second half. And we will see a full buy from them, and they're not going for any AWPs. So Virtus.pro, with that kind of a buy, knowing that Karrigan's got the AWP in play, you would expect a very defensive, a very passive setup where they're going to play very reactively, try to wait for TSM to make the move, and potentially throw in some aggression as well if they desperately need information. And we've got a fast mid-take out of the Danes.
Yeah, and we might see some aggression here with some pop flashes over the top, but Snacks is not going to wait for those flashes to come in. And Zipex is taking down 2. Virtus.pro are getting opened up like a chainsaw to a tin of beans there.
Yeah, this is really, really brutal, actually. I mean, Virtus.pro had the right idea. You know, you play passive, you send a couple players out to get the information to try to at least get some kind of advantage, but Zipex shut that down so hard. And what are you going to do in this position right now with Virtus.pro? 2 players trying to save. One will be spotted. Bjarni will find the kill onto KGB, but there's 4 more players from TSM who might very well feel quite confident in at least sacrificing 2 or 3. Their money's not super amazing, but they can definitely try to get some more damage in here. And this is going to be an 8-1 scoreline. Virtus.pro having a really hard time against TSM's T sides. They're just not hitting the shots they need to hit. Their aggressions are just not panning out.
Yeah, no, if this keeps going, then they may be shut out of this match in the first half, because they can't take 1 round into the second. Or look at the crosshair there, Karrigan. If only he knew. Maybe he'll go for the pot shot, getting the leg shot actually, and there we go. Dupree finishing things off there. Although I wonder if Karrigan would have hit that wall shot, because it seemed pretty on as well. So Bjarni should be able to save his gun here just about. But the only thing going for Virtus.pro at the moment is their lost bonus.
Yeah, and that's not really the best. When you're saying that, obviously things are pretty bad. So Virtus.pro, you know, they have to find the solution here. You know, something we haven't really seen is, and we know that they're very capable of going towards, is potentially a double up setup. It's of course high risk in nature, but at this point, this is when you start bringing out the high risk plays, because they need the big reward. And TSM, they're just going to keep grinding out these mid takes. And Fax is down there by the underpass area, looking for some deagle some love with the Deagle, but it's not happening just yet. Carrigan, excellent work with that AK-47, looking for the third. He's going to find it as well. Just 2 players left now for Virtus Pro as they are systematically wiped off the map.
Indeed, and Bialy will be looking to hold on to his M4 if he can. Does have armor as well, no longer, as he has been wiped off the map by Cajun B. So it's Bialy versus the rest of Denmark at the moment. And the bomb hasn't gone down yet, so he's going to be trying to save this rifle for quite a long time, which may not work out for their purposes. What kind of buy are you expecting from Virtus Pro in the next round?
I mean, we might even see an auto sniper or something like that. You can, I mean, it's very, very legit. Again, as you said, the bonus on the buy is maximized at this point, so they'll get $3,400 in addition to what you see now. So they'll be sitting pretty in the money department, so they can do anything. I would expect maybe double AWP or an auto sniper to make an appearance. They need to change it up pretty severely, and I think that's a good approach.
Well, you can see Bialy there sitting on $4,000 before the lost bonus kicks in for this round, so they will have all their options available to them. We'll have to wait and see, though, as to what they might choose. Now, does Bialy go for the AK there, or does he try to just use these walls and hold on to the M4? Seems it will be the latter, so we'll see what buy comes out soon. There is a pause coming in from Virtus Pro.
So it looks like they're going to make that decision now. And it's actually quite interesting because another thing that's quite cool in a situation like this for playing multiple sniper rifles or just positioning some a little bit aggressively is that because TSM have so much momentum in all the fights, like all the players on TSM are really just winning their aim battles so effectively against Virtus Pro right now. So because that confidence is going to put them into maybe more exposed positions than they otherwise would probably take, and that's perfect if you're playing an AWP defensively. You can very, very well capitalize on players going aggressive, looking for those kinds of picking situations. So we'll have to see what call they go with. I mean, what would you prefer to see them play with?
Well, before we get to weapons, like one problem is they have absolutely no control over this match at the moment. They've got no control of the rounds. They're being dictated to by TSM, who are essentially telling them what to do. You can see Virtus Pro trying to change things up, but they're just being waited for. Like when they went for the 2-man push, although maybe it was ill-timed because you saw the grenade starting to fly over towards A slope or T ramp, if you will. But then they were peeking before the nades went off, or the nades maybe they were not thrown in the correct angle, but you know, Zepex just waiting for them, just punishing them for it. So they're doing everything that TSM want them to do. So I think the first thing is for them to try and work out what is expected of us by TSM here, because we're doing what they expect and they're punishing us for it. So how can we change the approach while controlling the match and dictating the pace? Right. And then the weaponry comes into play if they're going to try and dictate that pace with AWPs or with M4s. I mean, they're going to have better grenades than they've had in recent rounds because of the money they have. They're floating on $6,000 to $7,000 at the moment. So we'll have to see what they choose. I mean, if they get a good enough spawn to get into the mid area faster than the T's, then that might be the case. You can see Snacks is using the AWP now, but it's Neo heading towards the window, so we'll see if they try to challenge for it. Indeed, he's going to be pushing up mid if he can, but there's so many flashes coming in, the Molotovs as well. Does he realize he doesn't realize he's on fire because he's blind? That is very creative there. I haven't seen that. It's been a long time since Days of Very games where they used to do that on Inferno, but down so deep onto Mirage.
Yeah, we got Snacks there on the defense. He's got the open hands. Virtus Pro can still salvage this round despite being a downer player. But Carrigan able to take down Bialy. It's just not looking good right now for the Poles. Snacks needs a huge delivery. A huge result has to follow with that AWP. There's the first frag from Snacks. What else can he get done? He's in a forward position with this by these crates. And there it is, the headshot straight away onto Snacks. He is out of the picture, and up steps Pasha, and he is quickly removed as well. Things not looking good here for Virtus Pro. Taz is somehow still alive, but assaulted from multiple angles, multiple fronts, and TSM will claim yet another round to make it 10-1. I feel as though Virtus Pro had a good chance in that round, but once more, TSM just exerting what seems to be superior levels of clutch and skill.
That Molotov. Actually, I think that Molotov might have been meant for Connector. So I think it was quite lucky there, but maybe they just accidentally made a next level strat, who knows.
It is a really sick timing nade, actually. Especially after a pause, you expect an aggression somewhere.
What was really sick in that previous round, actually, was the trade game from TSM towards the A side. Every time they lost a player, instant trade. You saw Carrigan pop out for such a fast frag with the AWP onto CT as well. And he was unlucky not to finish off the player in sandwich. So there we go, 10-1 TSM versus Pro getting shut down here.
it's amazing how TSM, they're not sparing any expense in trying to shut Virtus.pro out of middle. It's very rare a team will use a lot of Molotovs and a lot of smokes to do that, and the distraction is working at this point. They're getting themselves through the window there, but KGB will be taken down more or less immediately. Biali's really holding this one down for his team. There is still Zipex and Carrigan on the way though. Can Biali keep the defense solid? He will go down, but he has bought time for Pasha to find a good position, and he's going to use that to maximum effect. Great crossfire in the end, and Virtus.pro will actually win a round somewhat convincingly.
Winning with 4 people as well is
Yeah.
important for their economy, because I was thinking, like, with 2 players left, TSM have an opportunity to just, even if they don't win the round, to take people down with them and make Virtus.pro have a worse buy than the T's in the next round. But they survive with 4 players. That's massive for them.
And yeah, I just really love how much utility TSM have been using to take mid away from Virtus.pro. And oh, the shot will be missed there by the sniper of Virtus.pro in window. It's Neo, of course. He's looking to try to get something else done. It's good to take risks like this, but you got to hit the shots. Virtus.pro, you can see how much they want this middle. This is why TSM were going for a heavy denial in the previous round. However, this time it will be Virtus.pro that stand tall in middle, quite literally. But refrags will occur as Virtus.pro looking quite strong here. They can't seem to get into this bomb site, TSM.
Yeah, 4 versus 2. The bomb down at the top of A ramp as well. Just doesn't really give TSM a lot of options. So the question is, can they get any damage in? There are still a reasonable amount of nades for the CTs to continue to slow down here. Neo taking down KGB down, not missing that shot. So it's Dupree alone, smokes out of Palace. Not much for him to do, but he's got to try and get in as many kills as possible for the final rounds, as their economy is still superior to that of Virtus.pro. So it's going to be hurting after this one. Nice fast length shot there onto Dupree, but it's not enough, and Neo does go down. So Dupree's doing the damage here, but he's got his knife out. There's still 2 players left, and Pasha's coming in from the back. Dupree almost looks AFK at this point, but he's going to get shot in the back of the head, so no knife shenanigans there from Pasha. They can't afford to take any more risks. Again, an expensive round for Virtus.pro. 2 rounds left here in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible that they were just having Dupree stop to just have a conversation there, not realizing that, okay, I want to use this time for my team to have extra time to talk about how will we approach the next round. Could very well be it, and we'll have a full set of utility for TSM. It's been a while since we saw a full-blown execute from them, as they will go for a bit of harassment rather, into middle. Very, very key Molotov into connector, denying position. And you can see how they're splitting up the setup that Virtus.pro wanted. Virtus.pro forced that setup, and they get picked off one by one. Look at this pace now coming in from TSM. It's massive straight into connector, and Virtus.pro have no idea what just hit them.
Yeah, we're looking at 12-3 now, because the VP economy, again, it was tight, it was pressured. They lost a lot of players in the last round, and that's going to have a domino effect onto this one. We'll see what kind of buy comes out from them very shortly indeed. We've got a FAMAS coming out, a Mag 7 onto Snacks, double Mag 7 in fact, so their economy is in complete tatters. It's been ruined. It's a jumble sale buy. They've gone to the back of the cars, bought the teddy bears, missing an eye and so on. They'll bring what they can to this one, but it's not going to be very good barley. You can see there, just with a 5-7 as well, and the utility in terms of nades is almost non-existent. Neo's the only man with full nades, and one of them is a decoy.
Yeah, this is not a good look, to say the least. We do have Snacks close to the pit area, to the T-slope with that mag. He could make some magic happen. Is it going to be the lucky mag? We'll have to see. As in come the first players there. Great shot. He'll find the bomb. Carrigan is down. But there is the quick trade from Zipex. And it looks like TSM are onto this site. Good positioning here as well. Found behind the smokes. These Danes are doing some serious damage, and Device creeping in from middle now could completely ruin the chances, if there are any, in this round for Virtus.pro. Pasha stabbed in the back essentially by Device there, leaving Biali with that lonely 5-7 all alone against these players. He'll find a quick kill onto Device, but the bomb will go down now, and that will be that. 12-3 is a massive half. What a result for TSM. They've got to be feeling amazing going into this second half.
Yeah, that is a monster half for the side, and the kills is well spread out across the TSM side as well, kind of averaging around 11 frags, so things going quite well for them. Virtus.pro with a lot to do here. If they lose this pistol, it's pretty much game over. And again, they are going to be feeling the pressure after a bit of a bumpy ride versus Legacy in the first match. It's not so much a bumpy ride as they've come off the ride completely down.
Oh yeah, it's looking quite disastrous at the moment indeed. Now the pistol is where they can start to salvage things really, of course, and lots of nades here for Virtus.pro. We've got nades on Neo and Pasha, respectively. Pasha's actually in middle at the moment, and Neo is by by the stairs there towards the apartments, and he will spot Dupree, and Snacks is going to find the kill there, so they will not see the bomb. So right now TSM have no idea what's really going on.
Yeah, they're not rotating too much. Karrigan has moved into more of a CT position, but he's quickly moving back into CPR/jungle. We've got a two-man push here from Connector. Snacks is going to see Karrigan, but they still haven't seen the lurker on the other side. That's Cajun B, so the crossfire's coming in to crush the Virtus Pro push. No split onto A. They do have 2 players on the site, however. Got players fighting for control now. There is a player on short for the T's who can try to stop a rotation here from the CTs. That's Pasha, as you can see here. And Cajun B is probably going to walk into his crosshair. Oh, unless Pasha just looks away at the wrong time. 2 versus 1 now. Barley left alone here. He's done a lot of damage to both players. He can clutch this. He can get himself 2 1v1s. You can see he's forcing the issue here to get that 1v1. Now he has to find out where Cajun B is. Cajun B needs the headshot here. He doesn't have a kit either. There might be one on the floor, but it's not going to happen. Barley takes the round for his team. You can see how tense they are in the Virtus Pro camp. Again, that's a very crucial round for the Polish side.
Yeah, that tension is ridiculous. Now, the pistol round's been won, so that is, of course, going to be a great boon to their economy. And we'll see TSM. They used to be a team that would actually favor going very light on investment in rounds like this, whereas, other teams would always be about the full force. And again, it's something similar here. They're not really built up too much. Only a couple players with the full force buy, and Deagles for the rest. So if TSM are able to get some serious damage here, like 2 or 3 frags, they're going to be very, very pleased with themselves moving forwards into the next rounds. But Virtus Pro, they're a team that can use Molotovs expertly. They've only got 1 on Pasha. They must not lose players here. They've got to have a strong anti-eco strategy, and we're starting to see that develop as they take away middle from TSM.
Indeed, double HE and then Molotov, very nice stuff onto short. Karrigan knows got the angle, and he's close enough for the 1-tap there, moving back a bit, getting taken down by Ali, but he spotted the bomb. A lot of information for his team to rotate on. But there's still a minute on the clock here, so that means Virtus Pro can still rotate themselves. You can see Pasha now starting to carve out a path towards the B-bomb site. He is the point man with the Mac 10 as well. So he can definitely continue to do that and move pretty quickly. That moving accuracy will come in handy as well, unless Zipnix can find a connection with his face here. That's a good tag, and that might slow things down as well. Dupree coming in at the right time too.
Oh, this is looking bad, isn't it, right now? Virtus Pro struggling to get out of the window onto the bomb site. Dupree's going to make another frag as well. They're not even on the site yet. Bialy will turn around and down Zipex, but there's still 1 player left in Dupree. He's got that PT-50. He's close enough for the 1 shot, but Bialy is once again going to pull Virtus Pro by the scruff of the neck over the finish line in that round to make sure that they're still in this game. But that could very well have gone TSM's way, and the match itself would likely have followed.
So again, TSM with a light buy overall in that round, and a lot of damage done. The rebuys coming in from Virtus Pro. It'll be mere pistols here, no nades or anything fancy for TSM. Cajun B on a Deagle, as will Dupree be. So we'll see if they can continue that damage. Karrigan getting taken down early. This is a solid anti-eco here. We did see a good approach from Virtus Pro in the previous round. This time they'll have 4 players on the big guns, and so far so good. Cajun B though just camping in the shadow area will get himself 1 kill, and Dupree will find, Zipnix will find himself smoked out of the site for now.
Yeah, I mean, he can wait here for such a long time. It's even fine if he just survives. It doesn't really matter too much, but he can definitely find some really cool engagements. The element of surprise could give him at least 1 kill, and that means so much in a situation like this for TSM. So if Zipex could get 1 or 2, and maybe even steal a weapon away, that's the best case scenario for him, which he's looking for. And you can see how Virtus Pro are not interested at all in trying to even find him. They just want to play it safe, which is completely the perfect call by Virtus Pro. And that's always good to see, maintaining the composure and the discipline in their play as they move forwards. And I think we're about to start seeing some of the famed, aggressive mid takes that we know Virtus Pro love to go for.
Yeah, well, now we're going to see the buy from TSM as well. The AWP coming out onto Karrigan. Again, those conservative approaches to the 2 rounds after the pistol will mean they have a few more nades than they otherwise might have done. Gonna have 2 players on the helmets as well, although they are up against 5 AKs. So we've got Virtus Pro looking for a fast pick towards the B-bomb site, but there will be no such engagement as there's a double short play here from TSM.
Yeah, this is actually very interesting and a little bit unusual to have both the B players on short. It's obviously going to give them a lot of presence towards middle. However, Virtus Pro haven't taken middle just yet. They're playing a very slow pace. Virtus Pro are a team that are one of the best at slowing things down and speeding them up again in timings that you can't quite read as the CTs. So I have to see how this will actually pan out as they now start to get the nades to cover themselves into this mid take at the 1 minute mark. TSM though, they can hear everything. and they're probably very ready for this.
Yeah, well, the Versus Pro have pretty crazy map control, considering that there are 5 players alive for both teams. Dupree taking down Pasha on short, but do they know that there's a Trojan horse there? There's a B split coming in very unsurprising angles.
Oh, Snacks did the perfect job there. The distraction was beautiful. Neo in with a backstab onto Dupree, and all of a sudden, there is no defense left, and the bomb is now ticking away. TSM have been pretty crushed in this round, and what a way to do it. Virtus Pro somehow squeezing Snacks in this blind spot, just through the vent there from CPL into the shop area. Little did the Danes know, as you said, there was indeed the Trojan horse, and that was the key there to assure the round victory for Virtus Pro. This could be the start of their momentum. We'll have to see if they're able to completely break TSM on the money. In fact, yeah, TSM are broken on the money already, so we should see an eco out of them.
I don't know how Karrigan didn't hear that approach behind him. That's actually, I think, one of the best places to try and save on a map, generally speaking, because you can easily get around 2 corners very quickly and make a run for it should you need to, but also you normally get good sound cues as to when people are coming. But for whatever reason, Karrigan had no idea that someone was approaching him pretty quickly from the back. 5-round lead now from TSM. They're going to be on the eco here. There's a smoke and a flash onto Zipex, which makes me wonder what the plan might be. No kit. Got Dupree with a bit of Kevlar. Some Deagle's coming out as well. See if they can keep up the damage they've been doing in the previous rounds. So those nades have been executed now, trying to slow any approach towards the B bomb site perhaps. Dupree coming up close and short. Gonna get a bit of bullets in the face there through the corner of the wall, but no damage done by him. Zipex taken down as well, and that's an open B bomb site for the team.
Yeah, it's looking pretty smooth at the moment from Virtus Pro. KGB looking for a quick snap. He's not going to get it though, denied by Snacks, as Device is going to be the next player. Once again, just looking to do that economic damage, find some kills. And it is Device, does have a Deagle, so you can't really, well, I don't fancy his chances to get more than one, but let's have a look. Device is in a perfect position. You'll find Snacks, the Shadow giving up the game, and that is the AK now, in hand for Device, which is a big win. Can he keep it alive though? We've got more players encroaching upon his position to try and eliminate him and get the AK out of the possession of TSM, but Device doing yet more damage still, winning every single challenge so far, although it's only been 2. Looks like he has a good chance to keep himself alive. Yes, there it is, another frag, and Device will be, no, in the last moment. That's unfortunate, but of course TSM do have the funds to buy fully anyway.
Interesting fact. If you want to say big win in Russian, Dan, it's Большая Победа.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
4-round lead for TSM now. Getting that minimal 1,400 loss bonus. But they're going to have a full buy after the initial success here in the second half. Let's see if they can get back to winning ways or if their problems will continue. Barley just holding things down in case of any aggression. That is a super deep nade there. Nicely done. Pasha looking for a bit of revenge, but none to find just yet. Going to be dancing around the smoke, so maybe he can get himself an entry. Meanwhile, Karrigan's going to have the AWP on the opposing side. Device, as you can see there, top mid. It's going to be a lot of control for TSM, but they still need a bit more information as to whether it's going to be B or A. At least they know that the split is unlikely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a big deal to have a player deep or middle like that for the CT side. It's a big risk to actually go for the play, but we can see that Device in this round has not found a punish from Virtus Pro because they've got such a slow pace. This is really the perfect round for a play like this, and Device could actually, if he just stays in the right spots here, completely crush Pasha, and indeed, perfect timing on the peak. Pasha's going to go down, and now TSM know exactly what's coming.
There is a lurker, though, in Snacks coming through underpass into connector, but the flank's quickly coming in for Device as well. We'll have to see who wins that one. Caught with a nade out in his hand is Dupree. That's a 2-man for Snacks, and this could crush the round for his team. 3-man for Snacks. Karrigan going down as well. There's still one player on the site. KGB gets taken down. Ziplit's coming in from the jungle area now. 1 versus 2. Bomb yet to be planted, and his position is unknown. You can see Snacks trying to hunt, trying to find where he is. Zipex, though, is stuck behind the flames for now.
This is a pretty huge round here from Snacks. Zipex is just looking for these players right now. There's the first peak, so he's eliminated one of the positions or one of the possibilities. Now, where is the next one? He can't know for sure. Could be Palace, and there it is. Oh, he's going to miss the opportunity. That was a key moment to make the frag, to make it all possible. Now it's just incredibly awkward here for Zipex. He knows that this is just done. Snacks finishes it off for the 4K. What a beautiful series of frags there from Snacks. That is exactly what you expect from him, and definitely a huge I guess, amount of comfort restored now that Virtus.pro can play with Snax again. Of course, recently attending a tournament without the presence of the man himself.
Considering how long TSM held mid-4 with 2 people, they had one on top of the rail looking into the underpass and in device top mid. For Virtus.pro to have that look coming through underpass and do that was absolutely massive for them. TSM on the eco again now. Their second round lost in a row. Surely you thought they'd win that one, but they didn't, and you can see them being wiped out one by one, and it's anti-eco from Virtus.pro. So amazing stuff by Virtus.pro, really. Again, that lurk is so important in the underpass. And when Pasha started to move up mid, it forced them to move away, forced TSM to move away from the underpass, back into connector, which allowed Snax to make that play. So nicely done by Virtus.pro. That may raise question marks in the TSM camp.
Yeah, and this is why Virtus.pro can be scary on this map. But the funny thing is that, you know, everybody was talking about the aggressive mid takes and so on from Virtus.pro, and you know they know how to, you know, TSM's play style. They know that TSM know how they like to play, and they've really been mixing it up. They've been going with like a slow approach, not as much investment as you would usually see, and not a huge amount of early aggression from Virtus.pro towards middle. So they are absolutely playing against all expectation in that sense. They're making it work so far. A bit of a poke there early round as Neo goes for a picking opportunity with the fast timing from his spawn, but Carrigan is met on the other side, and it is a scary prospect to go up against him. It looks like Virtus.pro are setting up here. Got the smoke into CPL to cover and also obscure middle somewhat for TSM. They have no idea what's going on exactly just yet.
Indeed, so let's have a look. Effects coming in for the information. Got to spot one player. If he goes for the repick there, he might find the end of Neo's ult going through his chest. 2 ops on the TSM side as well, so we'll have to see what kind of play we have here. Dupree looking to hold down the CPL area, but Zepex is going to come in for the save. So 4 versus 5 now as Virtus.pro look to try and challenge for short control.
And goes Pasha though, immediately taken down by Dupree, so the position will be held by TSM as they are blocking Virtus.pro from all choke points so far. Virtus cannot get themselves into this site. We've got Bialy trying to just cut a path through, but it's not going to happen here. TSM are standing strong on the A side at the moment, still as Taz will go down in the end. And TSM with a shutout round there, especially Zipex, pulling 4 frags out of the bag.
So we'll see the money on both sides here, as if TSM lose this round, then they could be in a lot of trouble. Virtus.pro could get momentum because this is the first round TSM have won for a while, so if their loss bonus gets reset, then they may be up the creek with no paddle to be seen, Dan. But for now, we'll have to see who is going to get the better of this engagement. TSM with 2 ops continuing into this round, Virtus.pro with the 5 AKs now, looking for a fast B play perhaps.
We have the quick flash there. Great timing from Carrigan just to give himself some space to work with. And in comes the rush. What can Carrigan do here? He'll miss the first shot. He cannot really afford to miss any other shots, and he's going to go down immediately, punished for that miss so dearly. And now it's Dupree stuck behind the smoke. They're going to hunt him down. And there it is, Bialy once again delivering for Virtus.pro as TSM quickly realize this is a lost hope and they will abandon the cause and go and lick their wounds perhaps towards the Palace area in the towards the A bomb site.
If the spectator can bring up the money for people at home, we can have a look and see that you can see why TSM have made the decision. We've got 3 people left. We can't afford to get wiped out at this point when we've only won 1 round. We're about to lose another one, which means $1,400 loss bonus. If they can keep these 3 weapons alive, then maybe they can buy around these 3 weapons in the next round and try and hold things down again. Whereas if they all get wiped out, then that could be the momentum Virtus.pro needs to take this best of 1. So crucial decisions being made in the CT side, and we'll see what kind of buy comes out, if a buy comes out at all. Looks like it will. I think we might have some weapons dropped on the CT side. We do have some nades being bought.
Yeah, the 3 rifle save is so insanely huge if you can do that. It's actually not so common because usually if it's going to be 3, it's kind of telegraphed. I think the T side usually will be quite aware that it's going to happen, but it's actually kind of amazing they managed to get away with all the weapons there. And we might see a bit of a shock and all round coming in from Virtus.pro. They are all just running the trail towards the B apartments, and it looks like they want a really fast push here. In come the counter grenades, but do TSM realize what's going on? It's got to be just a perfect display of defense here from Zipex. He's close. He's gonna. Oh, what a beautiful movement from Zipex. He'll get the 3rd one as well. What a play! And now it's just Dupree there, but Carrigan comes in from nowhere, and that's going to be that. What a shutout!
Yeah, that's excellent play from Zipex, repositioning himself underneath the window. It's a very, very hard angle to check if you're a T, and even to trade on, it's super hard because it's such an acute angle, and there are so many other places to look. The 3rd frag is exquisite as well. 2 headshots for him. And that's a very strong round 1 from TSM. It shows you the power of saving with 3 people in the previous round.
So perhaps they can reclaim the dominance here. They only need 2 rounds, of course. So it has felt close for quite a while, but this is their strongest chance here. Virtus are on the ropes at the moment, and they are going with a more, I guess, kind of usual Virtus-style play, where they put 2 people on top mid straight away, not trying to make it safe by pushing underpass first. Just Pasha straight up there at top mid, looking for the shots.
Yeah, Neo spotted a player moving into the ladder room, so Virtus Pro can try and picture the rest of the TSM setup here, try and abuse that. We might see a pop flash coming in here for Pasha once these flames have gone. Indeed, there comes the pop flash, but the player has already moved on to B. That said, Zipex is underneath the window. I don't think it's been checked yet by Pasha, but I'm sure he's about to see his head and pop it off through the chest. So that's the early advantage for Virtus Pro, but massive map control as well.
Oh, Dupree might have found a sneaky angle. I think he might have been discovered as well, but in comes the push up from Slope. Cajun Beast there, he's going to get eliminated immediately. Taz, great entry frag found by him. Snacks as well, cleaning things up by the side, and that's going to be a very strong A site take. What on earth are TSM going to do in this position? Device is looking for the save here, but the bomb is not going to be too exposed, so Device cannot punish the plant. TSM really in a bad place right now in this round. Carrigan looking to keep the AWP alive. His Device is pinned down by the toll booth. This is not a good position to be in. Virtus Pro encroaching upon his position. Device trying to fight his way out, but it's not going to happen. Carrigan should be able to save the AWP, but great round from Virtus Pro.
This is a much better round for TSM to lose than the previous one, because obviously they've extended their lead, so it gives them another opportunity to try and build their economy a bit more while holding on to the lead in this match. Oh, the bait. That's absolutely crazy to watch that, because Neo obviously exposed his position with the scope of his AWP. Still managed to go for shoulder peek, bait the shot and punish it afterwards. Carrigan doesn't survive into the next round.
Yeah, that's a massive play there out of Neo. That's the kind of class that you expect out of a guy like that. One of the most legendary players, Counter-Strike players, that is. Neo is very impressive. It's great to see him on the AWP more often, and he will be carrying that. In fact, sorry, it'll be Pasha carrying the AWP through onto this round for Virtus Pro, as they're up against just a few pistols here for TSM, but you can never take something like that for granted when a bunch of pistols are carried by players such as TSM.
As you see, Virtus Pro trying to pull a big rotation towards the A site, but look how deep Device is into A. Is this going to cause a fast enough rotation from TSM to mount an offense elsewhere? You can see there are 3 people in Virtus Pro, so they could just try and bum rush their way into the A site regardless. However, you can see the bomb is headed towards Ab for the moment. Dupree trying to get a headshot on the short, but has done no damage actually. No one's taken any damage just yet from the Virtus Pro side. Zipex coming out into the flames, going to get taken down as well. So far so good, perfect round here for Virtus Pro. 2 more plays to find. Pasha gets taken down though by Cajun B.
Deagle being put to work here, but it's not really giving the results that they want, and Device is in a 1-on-4 now with this Deagle, and you can see that they're pretty suspicious of apartments. They realize that it's likely occupied, and indeed it's been confirmed now with the jump spots as Device just looks for some extra damage once again. This is really going down to the wire at this point. We get a nice little wall bang there out of Snacks, and now it's going to be 13-14. Virtus Pro been clawing their way all the way back here. Then they've almost made it, but here's the next test. We've got a big buy out of TSM or back onto Carrigan. We haven't seen much aggression from Carrigan just yet on the CT side. I wonder if this could be the round.
We will see. He's got a good spawn to go into a CPL actually. We'll see if he opts to go all the way. Indeed he will. He's not going to be challenged though. We have a lurker towards mid. This is kind of almost like a Titan setup here, where you used to have Maniac, although never mind. Snacks has moved into Biats now, because he would often be lurking top mid and come in for the late connector play. But here we go. Virtus Pro looking to just force their way into the site. 4 people on T-ramp here.
This is a really big round here for Virtus Pro to hang on to, but in comes the push. There's the first entry found by Bialy. More players going for the rotation here, but TSM is scrambling behind the smokes. What a shot there from Carrigan. Beautiful stuff. And now Snacks, the lurker, is sneaking in from connector. He could just cause the entire house of cards to come toppling down. And indeed, there's the first frag. Device taken down by the stairs, but they've got another lurker here. Dupree coming in from the back. He's going to find Pasha. 2 players left now for Virtus Pro. That bomb ticking away. Carrigan's found himself a nice forward position. Oh my God, this guy is something else with that AWP.
Yeah, once Dupree comes in and gets that flank onto T-ramp, then the other T's are all of a sudden very alpha position, stuck in sandwich, nowhere to go, to be eliminated in the corner. by the CT side. You can see the frustration coming out from Cuban, from Taz. They're not out of this yet. They've still got the buy on, and they're only 2 rounds behind, so it's not over. They need to stay focused and keep at it here. So the AWP continues on the TSM side. Virtus Pro opting for the 5 AKs of versatility, 5 Molotovs as well. Again, one of the teams who get the most out of those Molotovs, and they're going to need them if they want to bring this to overtime.
Absolutely, and we can see that Carrigan did decide to go for an aggressive push with the AWP into Palace, but despite there being a player there, Taz, he's playing it very patiently, so he might be able to outlast Carrigan here. So that little staring battle could go on for quite a while, as a lot of pressure is felt by TSM from the B apartments as Virtus Pro just go for the early harassment. And showing that presence is going to confuse TSM as to the nature of Virtus Pro's real push, which could still be A, as we'll start to see them making their way through underpass with the bomb.
Yeah, you can see Taz moving away from the A site. Now, there's still a lurker in Bialy on T ramp. We'll see what the approach is from Virtus Pro. They could potentially still go for an A split here. We've got Pasha trying to push up short, trying to kill any rotators perhaps. Getting a nice shot onto Dupree, just about surviving there. Lucky that Dupree didn't have an AK himself. So Device will smoke himself out to try and cross back towards the site, but first he'll take down Pasha on the flank, and the push is coming in from Virtus Pro now.
Yeah, lots of kills coming in indeed, but Carrigan still alive with the AWP. Cajun B on the site, and this is looking really good right now for TSM. This could be it. Bialy, he's done massive work for Virtus Pro so far. A 1 versus 3, it might be too much to ask in this kind of a position, but Bialy is stepping up to the plate. Time is becoming a massive issue right now for Bialy, and he is pressed, and it's going to be taken down by Zipex, and it will be won, of course, by TSM. Great performance from both sides. 16-13, incredibly close.
Yeah, and again, it was very important that TSM saved those 3 guns for the next round, brought up around them, won that round, extended their lead, and then they're in a position where they lose a round, and it's a much better situation for them, because if they'd lost round 3 prior, then maybe Virtus Pro take this match. So came down to the wire again. Both teams still in it, but you can see that Virtus Pro will feel like that game was in their hands.
Absolutely, it was a really cool. It was really cool to see Virtus Pro again taking a much slower approach to Mirage than you actually normally would expect by them. Obviously, because they respect the kind of skill of TSM and how TSM's kind of the way that they want to play the game could be a natural counter to what they do. And so it's cool to see how that dynamic worked out. And of course, it made for a very close game. But looks like we have Dupree on the stage with Parla.
Dupree, congratulations. How do you think that match went?
Really good on the first side. Then we started getting a little uncomfortable, and they started playing really well, and we kind of got out of our comfort zone, and we started losing some rounds. Like, we had some situations we shouldn't have lost because of the bad communication and stuff like that. So yeah, it almost did not go as we wanted. So.
In what way did it get out of your comfort zone? What do you mean exactly by that?
Well, we haven't played Mirage in some time, and our CT side has been a little bit shaky. And I mean, like, they just really knew how to, like, obviously won the one-on-one duels when they took them with us, but also they knew how to play the rotations really well. So they just kept smoking off stuff and faking us, and then just this guy making one noise, and then they just, overwhelmed another guy on another side, and then they just played really well. So we just had trouble like figuring out what they actually wanted to do.
I mean, but so far in the competition, are you happy with how you guys are doing?
Well, we won 16-0 in the first game. That was really good, and we won 12-3 or something like that in this game on the first side. That was really good, but the last half I was not really proud of. We almost choked, as people would call it. So I mean, yeah.
What do you think you're going to have to change to make sure you guys are performing the very best that you can?
I think we've shown some really good plays, both individually and also team-wise, the halves we've played before. Obviously, we need to work a little bit better. Like, you still have to get the communication to flow a little bit better, and like counting on our teammates and stuff, and obviously just hitting our shots individually, but that's what it has to do for us to get there. So.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much for your time, Dupree. You can now run off. Congratulations. If you want to give them a little round of applause, go for it. Big shout out again to theScore eSports. Do not forget to check out their app. It's absolutely awesome. You can check out all the live game updates, news, and everything. And right about now, we are going to head to a commercial break.